This is the Great Basin weather briefing for Wednesday, March 25th. Looking at Great Basin fire activity, we do have prescribed fires still burning up in the north, but projects are really winding down in the south because partly due to the fact it's been so dry, record dry fuels in many areas. We have some natural fires already starting, some of them several dozen acres. Not unusual in the dormant season, but unusual for how many we're having right now. So definitely keeping that in mind. We've changed the context of today's briefing a little bit to focus a little bit more on fire, a little bit less on prescribed burning. We'll be showing the 7-day outlook for reference, but much is the same. Very dry. The past 7 days, bone dry across the area. No measurable precipitation as far as we can tell. It's been a very dry winter. This is the flash drought index over the course of the last 3 months, and we do see extreme levels of the evaporative demand drought index across much of Utah, this dark red, into parts of southern Nevada, the Arizona Strip, and expanding into some moderate drought categories, even into the southern half of Idaho and western Wyoming as well. So something that will probably get worse before it gets better as we head into the later spring months. Snowpack, record low snowpack across much of the southern half of the geographic area, uh, 0 to 20% in southern areas, maybe 25 to 35% central areas. Uh, Mountains of central Idaho and Wyoming are somewhere around 60 to 80%. A lot of it is on the highest elevations. The middle elevations that normally do carry some snow cover um, are looking pretty bare right now across all areas. So just a sign of things to come. Looking at ERC conditions, in the Uinta Basin, where we've had a rash of fires of several dozen acres and some of the dormant brush and grass, you can see that ERCs are starting to approach the 85th percentile, well above the red line, well above record dry levels. Looking down into our southern areas, into the Arizona Strip, we're seeing much of the same thing, not just record fuels, but almost normal for what we have in early to mid June. Looking at 10-hour fuels, quite dry in the south. They are in the mid to upper single digits. They come up a bit in the north. Upper level map on the left, high pressure over just south of New Mexico, still keeping us in a very dry air mass. There's a bit of a front given by the tight packing of these height lines through here. We do have some moisture to the north and to the west, but nothing for us in the immediate future. We do have concerns. Today's going to be very warm and dry. A possible lightning concern across parts of western Colorado, critical wind concern over parts of the northern Rockies east of the Continental Divide. Transport winds looking basically a gust of 40 miles an hour. So we see the purple shades up in the north, maybe 30 to 40 miles per hour in these shaded areas of orange. Minimum humidity is very dry, looking upper single digits to mid-teens in the south and maybe 20 to 30% or a little bit higher as you head into the Idaho mountains. Looking at daytime temperatures, running about 25 degrees above normal from 83 degrees in Salt Lake, 79 in Reno, 96 degrees in Vegas. It does cool down quite a bit again in the Idaho mountains behind that front. High temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Thursday, still high pressure in control, but it's pretty far south. So there'll definitely be some more warmth, at least for for much of the geographic area, but we're still under high pressure. So another very warm, very dry day. Moisture is gathering both in the northern stream and the southern stream, well off the Pacific coast. Eventually, will play a role in our weather by the middle of next week. But you can see a lot of our areas on the 7-day are in the yellow, so not expecting 1,000-acre fires, but fires in the 5 to 25 acre variety, not out of the realm. And if anything gets a little bit of wind, maybe even more, that's still a concern for this time of year. Winds looking basically at a north wind pattern or northwest wind pattern with downsloping winds coming in off the Wasatch into the Uinta Basin, into the Price area, also coming down into the St. George area from Cedar City that could be gusting over 30 to 40 miles an hour. A lot of that will be in the late morning to early afternoon hours. Kind of a breezy northeast wind pattern across parts of western Nevada, and that could be a downslope flow further westwards as you get into the Sierra. Quite dry all areas, upper single digits to upper teens from south to north, most areas. And again, not much change on Friday. The high pressure ridge starts sliding a bit further south and east, but still in control of our weather. You can see equally dry in the Snake River Plain and southern areas. Same thing, very dry humidity on the right. The wind flow, it starts becoming a bit more east and southeasterly across southern areas, but you still have some of those breezes in the morning hours out of Cedar City into Hurricane and St. George into the Arizona Strip. Otherwise, winds will be diminishing a little bit. Days 1 to 3, precipitation, not much at all at this point. But things do change over the weekend. We start seeing this deeper low pressure trough starting to gather some steam. And then as we go into Sunday and then into Monday, we see moisture gathers from the northern stream moisture with this low, tapping some subtropical moisture from the south. And we see that here Tuesday, a big swath of moisture. We finally get some widespread precipitation. One shot on Tuesday, maybe another shot coming in later in the week. That rise in humidity, not even mentioning the precipitation, should push our PSAs into the green for the most part. So precipitation days 4 and 5, looking at basically nothing across our area, but it does come in day 6 and 7 from Monday morning through Wednesday morning. I would say light to moderate, but widespread precipitation, and there will be some duration of it for at least 6 hours or more. There could be some snow in the higher elevations. This will moisten things up a little bit more and maybe give us a brief break from some of the would call it nuisance fire activity, but fire activity nonetheless that's been popping up over the last several days. 7-day totals shown through here. Much of this is in the last couple of days, and the 8 to 14-day outlook shows a return to near normal temperatures for much of the area, or just slightly above normal, which will seem like a sharp cool trend compared to the 20 to 25 degree above normal temperatures we've been having. And 8 to 14-day outlook shows a wide area of somewhat above normal precipitation. So definitely looking at for fire activity start winding down a little bit as we get into the first week of April, and also green up already starting in the lowest elevations. That'll start getting a little bit higher in time, and this rainfall will help a little bit. This concludes our forecast. Have a great day. Next update coming up on Friday.